Revelation 862. From the 14th of April 1939. Blessing of God. Prayer and success of the work. It is irresponsible carelessness if the Lord is not thought of before any work is started. If it is in man's power to receive the blessing of the Lord, which then makes all work easy and successful for him, and he does not pay attention to this blessing, then all burden and responsibility rests on his shoulders alone, and he will therefore have to toil and strain much more than if he entrusts himself to the Lord and asks him for his help. But where the work on earth is successful even without the invoked help and man does not think he needs God's blessing, there, good spiritual power is not always involved in the success of the work, but often it arises with the support of the opposing power to prevent man from turning in prayer to the Creator of heaven and earth for assistance. Therefore an apparently successful striving on earth without recourse to the divine Lord must not be misleading or misjudged. From it the fallacy must not be drawn that man can very well do without the divine help without suffering damage. Only as long as he is completely ignorant and therefore does not consciously neglect the divine commandments to ask for blessings, no disadvantage will arise for him and he will be protected from the influence of the opposing power. But if he acknowledges an eternal divinity and recognizes in it his creator and ruler in earthly existence, but intends to carry out his earthly activity without his help, he will now often be offered resistance. He will have to recognize his powerlessness by failures and difficult successes. He will have to realize that he does not always have the success of his work in his hands. He will feel that a certain resistance is set against him from above, which he can remove himself by right thinking. And if he has made good use of his thinking and trustingly revealed himself to the Father in heaven and entrusted his work and its success to him, he will be worthy of the blessing from above and need never fear that it will be withdrawn from him, as long as he wishes to stand in God's blessing and expresses this through prayer and trusting devotion. To stand in the blessing of God means to be able to go through life light-heartedly, to be relieved of earthly worries and to be able to hand over all heaviness to Him. And this awareness lets man go through life joyfully and cheerfully. He no longer bears the responsibility alone, but has handed it over to the Lord, and only where man wavers in faith or becomes careless in prayer, the hardships of life also approach him again and drive him to renewed reflection on his own weakness without divine help, so that man clearly recognizes that his earthly path leads astray, if he does not avail himself of divine help and consciously asks the Father in heaven for blessing. Amen.